But first, let's just look at this planter. Don't mind there's a kiddie pool in the background. Remember when we planted this and I was like, I don't know if these plants are gonna like it here. They like it here. And now I'm really super concerned that when it comes time to change it over for fall, I'll be like, gotta leave it. It's doing so good. I barely ever water it and it's just growing so much. It filled in so pretty. Look at all the things. Look at this fern. Oh, you guys. This was probably my biggest win of the year, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had such low expectations. Hey guys, what's up? It's Heather with the Mosco, and today we're going to be harvesting 2 crops. The first one is going to be cowpeas, which are more or less black-eyed peas. I planted them in the raised garden beds boxes, and I put them to go over the arch. They haven't gone over the arch as much as I would like, but what you do with them is you leave them on the plant and let them completely dry on the plant and take them off, and then you don't have to do anything with them. You just put them in a container and keep them, and you can, cook them later, which I think is a super easy crop to preserve, which I appreciate. And then we're also going to go out here to the backyard vegetable garden that looks very disheveled right now between the somewhat poor volunteer pumpkin plants. We bought a bunch of ornamental pumpkins last year. My kids love to smash them in the yard, so when we're done with them, I let them smash them in the yard, and all these volunteer plants came up, and I'm super appreciative because I'm getting a lot of pumpkins off them, or I have a lot of pumpkins growing on them, which I potentially can use, and they're beautiful, but they're looking a little worse for wear back here, and it's getting a little difficult to walk, and some of them aren't doing well. They're not on irrigation. We're not doing anything for them. We're just trying to keep them off the house. And see what we can get at them. So that's exciting. But behind that, I have a butternut squash plant, and there's a handful of butternut squash that are ready. The plant itself is looking a little rough. A lot of stuff out here is looking a little worse for wear right now. It was super, super, super hot, and now we're getting a ton of rain, which I really appreciate because we actually lost the pump on our well on our property, and I was like, oh, I can't water my plants at all. So thankfully it's rained every day, but that's been fixed. So that went way better than I anticipated it would. So super excited about that, but we're gonna get out and harvest these things and take a look at what we've got. So I've got my harvest basket and my shears in here, and we're gonna go over here. Now, the plant starts way up there, and these are obviously looking a little rough. Maybe I should take some of these leaves off and work on. I'm gonna be out here all day today. My kids are with Nana swimming at the pool, so look at my poor zinnias. Everything looks just super disheveled, overgrown. I did cut back a lot of my cucumber vines to get those in order, but I've had a lot of my watermelons explode, and I'm trying to protect that one. So in any case, this is where the plant starts, and some of it's looking a little bit bad, but some of this down here is actually looking really good. So that's exciting. But we're gonna go ahead and harvest some of these that are up here because they've got that nice yellow, the skin is pretty firm, and it's starting to turn right here. So we're gonna harvest these here, these 1, 2, 3, 4, there's one in there. But if you notice on the plant, there's still some more. Like this one, I'm gonna let it sit a little bit longer and let that green kind of green up. That one will dent pretty easy. And that one also is a little too whitish, yellowish green. And maybe pull some weeds while we're in here. But let's get to harvesting these. Basically what I'm gonna do is just grab my snips and snip it here at the top. Here's one of our volunteer pumpkins, looking so great. So good. But look at this. Like I can barely walk back here. And some of it's weeds that I can't even get to, but look at this volunteer pumpkin. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I'm so excited about that one. And there's just little gems in here. There's a gourd over there, pumpkin growing over there. It's a beautiful pink one past the zucchini. So pretty. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off there. And I have one in the house actually that we already harvested, and these are looking really good. So I'm super excited about that. Butternut squash will stay in the basement with the potatoes. Just wait for me to cook them. I love butternut squash. My family is okay with it. They like a butternut squash pasta, which is, they're not real big on pasta, so that's cool. But let's go harvest our cowpeas. So for my cowpeas, all I really need is a mason jar. Look at the canna. Isn't it pretty? It's blooming a lot right now. I'm really enjoying it. Sedum's doing terrible. These are getting eaten by voles, so I don't know what we're gonna do there. And I think I'm gonna remove these. I don't enjoy them, and I think it'd be better to just do our seasonal plantings up this way too. But our salvia is looking like it's not dying. Our limelight's looking great. More plants. And like I say, the water kind of beat these down. Need to come get that tomato today. So all these pods here that are dry, like this, and there's some more that are way more dry, like here's a good example. We're just gonna take these pods, open them up, and put the seeds in our mason jar. And they're producing quite a bit, so I'm super excited about that. So I'm just gonna open this pod up. And put my seeds, or my cowpeas, in this jar. It's already getting hot out here. If you're not familiar with cowpeas, basically black-eyed peas, southern staple. So there we have it. So we'll just go through and pick through these and see what's ready. Not many of them are actually super ready. They need to be dried down pretty good. And still yet, I have a dehumidifier in my house, so what I'll do is actually set them in front of the dehumidifier, just the whole container when I get done. It's hard to do this one standing up in one hand. And then make sure that they stay dry that way. And then as they dry out here, I can just come out here and continue to just bring my mason jar and keep. I'm thinking that in my basement I'm going to set up like a pantry, because I've been able to preserve quite a few things this year, and I want to have a place for it to go. So I pulled this many pods off the plant, and now we just need to open them and put them in our mason jar. You're a good old man. You're a good old man. Now one might be saying, Heather, it's gonna be 100 degrees today, and instead of doing the labor-intensive stuff right now, you're doing the non-labor-intensive. And I would agree with you, because usually I would go the other direction with it. But the lighting is better for video right now than it will be later. And I ain't gonna make a video of me pulling weeds, so. So off that plant today, we got, can you see that? Maybe it's better this week. This many beans. And again, I'll put those in front of my dehumidifier so that they will even remain dry, because they're still a little moist just because it's wet out here. I don't think the beans themselves are moist. In fact, some of them were on there a little bit too long and they were looking a little worse for wear. So we'll just keep this in the basement next to the dehumidifier, and then as they come due, we can put more in the jar and hopefully fill up the jar by the end of the season. I have really enjoyed the season that I have gotten a lot of crops that I can store or freeze, or I made a lot of cans of green beans. A lot of my shorts will have more of the harvesting of things. I've frozen some tomatoes so that I can make sauce later. I've got more tomatoes coming on, so I've been really excited about all the things that we've been able to have food for later that we grew. A, it's super rewarding, but B, food's expensive. I mean, ain't nobody trying to say it ain't. So the more that we can put in there and have accessible to us, I love that when I'm making a grocery list right now, I just buy meat or thaw out some meat. I need to go thaw out some meat for dinner. And I know that I can come out to my garden and get a zucchini or a tomato, or get some corn that we froze. I did get a few heads of corn, or whatever it may be, and throw some rice in there, and that we've got food. So that's really super exciting. So that's going to be it for me in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.